Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a horror mystery film, Open Grave. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with a man waking up in the middle of a pit. It's dark and he's disoriented. He searches his pockets to check what he has on him. He finds keys and a lighter. He then flicks the lighter on and finds that he's surrounded by dead bodies. He coughs violently and vomits. There's thunder in the sky and the lightning shows that the pit's filled with dead bodies. He looks up and finds a woman peering at him from above. He calls for her to come back. As he's shouting for help, he finds a pistol among the body. The woman he saw earlier throws a length of rope down the pit so he can climb out. While searching for help, the man comes across a house with the lights on, and he immediately heads inside. He hears people arguing. They seem to be talking about him. He follows their noise and finds a group in the kitchen. He holds the pistol up to the guy with a shotgun. They get into a standoff, with both demanding the other to drop their weapon. The man accuses Lucas, the guy holding the shotgun, of killing the people in the pit. Lucas curses him out and throws his accusation back at him. He then asks him who he is, but he doesn't know and can't remember anything. He points at a Chinese woman and tells them that she was the one who helped him out of the pit. He asks why she did, but before she can answer, a man lying on the floor screams and writhes in pain. The white woman hurries to his side and gives him water. The man holding a pistol asks him who he is, but he reveals that he doesn't know either. The white woman turns to the man holding a pistol and admits that none of them knows who they are. The other guy in the group announces that they have no phone or computer. All they have are IDs. They find out that the white woman is named Sharon. The guy who found the ID is Michael. The guy with the shotgun is Lucas, and the man writhing in pain is Nathan. They have no information about the pistol man or the Chinese woman. Michael asks the man if he understands what the Chinese woman is writing. He interrogates her, but all she does is stare at him. He insists that she knows him. Michael yells that she can't understand her. Sharon informs him that the Chinese woman is mute and doesn't understand English. Lucas thinks something's wrong with the pistol man, since the group woke up together while the pistol man woke up in the pit with the dead bodies. He declares he doesn't trust the pistol man. The group explores the house. The pistol man finds a calendar in the pantry. He hurries to look for the Chinese woman and asks if she was the one writing on the calendar. She nods. He asks her what it means, and she tries to explain with gestures, but he doesn't get it. The camera zooms closer to the calendar, and it shows that April 18th is circled. Michael calls for the group's attention after finding the weapons closet. They watch as he effortlessly loads up a pistol. Nathan guesses that Michael must be a cop. The pistol man suggests they take some of the guns and check their surroundings, but Lucas disagrees. They can leave in the morning instead. After a quick shower, the pistol man hears someone announce that the Chinese woman had run off. The three of them follow after her. As they're walking deeper into the woods, the pistol man starts to remember random stuff, like dragging dead bodies through the woods. He worries that the others are right and that he's an evil man. Sharon shouts when she comes across a dead man tied around a tree trunk. They finally find the Chinese woman inside a shack. She's feeding a woman whose hands are bound. When she sees the pistol man, she freaks out and claims that he had used her. She tries to attack him. Lucas knocks her out with the butt of his shotgun, luckily not the butt of his hormone gun. Back at the house, the pistol man is attempting to open door. Nathan shares that he feels like he knows him. The man declares that he doesn't have time to figure things out with him and points at the door he's trying to pry open. Nathan tells him that he can't force it open since it's a reinforced iron door. He then refers to the pistol man as John Doe. Nathan suggests they try to unlock it the next day instead, since everybody's sleeping. The next day, Michael asserts that he needs to go with the group to look for the missing cars. Lucas asks him why, and he declares that he's their best shot. To prove his point, Michael throws a mug and shoots it midair, but Lucas still refuses and orders him to guard the house. Michael wonders out loud why the group refuses to listen to him. He asks the Chinese woman who she is to him, if she's his wife or girlfriend. He thinks he's not like the others since they're all smart, but he knows he has a reason to be with them. They then hear screaming from a distance. In a panic, Michael orders her to get inside the house and lock the door before checking it out. He comes across a man begging for help while trapped in a fence made out of barbed wire. Michael approaches him to help, but when he gets too close, the man kills him. Nathan is throwing rocks as the group looks for any signs of cars. They hear it hit something metal and hollow. When they check it out, they find cars hidden underneath a pile of sticks and barbed wires. After several attempts, Sharon successfully starts one of the cars. John Doe points out that the car is low on gas, but they can try and drive out of the place to see what they can find. Lucas replies that there's no we and shows a photograph that has everyone on it except John Doe. He then reminds them that they're not near anything, so they may end up without fuel in the middle of nowhere. He decides that they'll get back to the house to figure things out. On the way back, they run into the Chinese woman who's been searching for them. She leads them to the man trapped in a fence, and they find Michael dying. They fail to save him. The man trapped screams, and John Doe shoots him dead. As they're talking about their next move, the Chinese woman warns Michael. John Doe takes Nathan's car keys, and Sharon goes with him. He leads Sharon to an abandoned building. They check if the cars have fuel, or if there's any filled gas can. While checking herself out in the mirror, Sharon sees a kid running behind them. They look for him and hear the kid from inside the building, but the entrance is blocked. John Doe asks the kid if he knows him or Sharon, but the kid yells for him to go away, calling him Jonah. Now that he has an idea of what his actual name is, Jonah begs the kid to talk to them. At the house, Lucas is having numerous flashbacks, but none of them make sense. He's looking ill, and his headache is worsening. The Chinese woman touches his cheek, and he has a brief understanding, telling her that he knows her. His grip tightens, which scares the Chinese woman, so she hits him to let her go. A messy dog barks and scratches the blocked entrance, which surprises Jonah. He orders the kid to call his annoying dog off. Jonah is getting increasingly agitated, while the kid threatens to let the dog kill him. Sharon attempts to be the voice of reason, calmly telling the kid to open the door. But Jonah is having none of it and starts shooting at the padlocked gate. Angrily, Sharon asks him what he's been doing since he's just a kid, but Jonah asserts that the kid knows him, but he doesn't even know his name. She calms him down, and they get closer. It seems the two were in a hormone ship before everything went down. Listing down Lucas' symptoms, Nathan attempts to figure out what's going on, using the Chinese woman as a sounding board. To help, she brings him to the shack deep in the woods, and he acknowledges that he knows the place. They notice that the woman has escaped. They follow a path around the nearby lake. The Chinese woman stops him, but Nathan explains that he needs to know where it leads and insists on going. She lets him go, but looks very worried as he walks away. He then comes across a bunch of cabins built close together and numerous dead bodies. He steps on a pair of glasses. He recognizes them, picks them up, and is hit with memories. It seems Nathan's remembering a time when he was fighting with Sharon and Jonah, arguing about the inhumane treatment of people. The Chinese woman goes back to the house, where Lucas has been waiting for her. Uncomfortable, she runs upstairs. Lucas follows after her, pleading for her not to leave him alone and promising not to hurt her. It seems she is hidden in the room with the reinforced iron door. Lucas bangs on it, telling her to let him in and claiming that he remembers her now. Lucas goes outside and finds a small door leading into the house's basement. He finds what appears to be a makeshift lab filled with medical supplies and research. He finds a laptop and turns it on. Back at the closed-built cabins, Nathan finds the woman bound in the shack earlier and a kid on her lap. She's crying and cradling the kid's body clothes. Noticing Nathan, she sets the kid down on the floor and then goes to attack him. But he closes the door just in time. Outside, he finds a couple of people in a zombie-like state heading his way. At the makeshift lab, Lucas finds a video camera with clips of Jonah conducting some sort of an experiment on an unconscious Lucas. He's using the Chinese woman's blood and transfusing it to Lucas. On their way back, Jonah and Sharon find a group of people cutting trees. Jonah seems excited, while Sharon cautions him. He ignores her and calls for their attention. When they finally notice the two, they immediately go into attack mode. The two run their smelly ass away. Sharon gets in the car, while Jonah begins to push it back. The group is close when Jonah notices two corpses hanging from the trees. They stop chasing after them, which makes Jonah assume that the bodies are used as scarecrows. They get back to the house with Lucas waiting for them. He aims his shotgun at Jonah and exclaims that he knew it was him. He asks Jonah what he did, but he still doesn't know what Lucas talks about. Lucas addresses Sharon, shows her the video camera, and shares that Jonah's been experimenting on them. He then calls him a murderer. Sharon asks Jonah what's on the tape, but he admits that he doesn't know. He discloses that he's been trying to tell her that he's been having memories of bad things he's done. Sharon takes a step back, and Lucas knocks Jonah out with the butt of his shotgun. Jonah wakes up to Lucas dragging him back to the pit. He orders Jonah to crawl back into the pit. He willingly falls in after Lucas fires a warning shot. He crawls on top of the bodies and has more vivid memories after seeing a tattoo on one of the dead body's shoulders. Lucas asks for Sharon's key and claims that they need to get out. She asks him if Nathan knows, and for a minute, he seems not to remember who that is. He replies no and repeats that everything is Jonah's fault. She tells him to sit down since he's not looking well, but he stands firm that she's safe with him. He approaches the Chinese woman and creepily holds on to her. Sharon asks him to stop, as the Chinese woman's looking very uncomfortable. He shoves Sharon back, and the Chinese woman runs. She gets into the room with the reinforced iron door, but she's unable to lock Lucas out with him close behind. She kicks him back, but he pursues her and demands for her to remember him. Sharon fires a warning shot as Lucas runs. He escapes in a crazed state. The Chinese woman helps Jonah out of the pit again. He claims that the next day is the 18th, and they've run out of time to figure out what's going on. He decides to go back to the abandoned building in order to get answers from the kid. Inside, he finds a container that triggers a memory of him handing it over to someone and warning them to be careful with it since it's their last chance. He rummages through more stuff, trying to remember what's so important about the 18th. Following the map he found, he stumbles upon a family who's switching cars with the kid from earlier with them. An older woman with a shotgun tells him to stay away and claims no more needles. She reveals that he has hurt them all and would leave them unharmed since she wasn't like him. They leave. Checking the car that was abandoned, Jonah finds the container from his memory, and it's filled with vials. Inside the car, he also finds a similar map to his, some documents addressed to him, as well as a photo of him and Sharon in an intimate embrace. He's slowly starting to remember. Walking down the road, he finds Sharon's car heading his way, but it's Lucas inside. Seeing Lucas' worsening condition, Jonah runs to take a vial from the container to help him. He introduces himself as a doctor, informs Lucas that he's been infected, and promises that the injection will help him. Lucas attacks him, but he knocks him back with a rock to the head. Before Jonah can administer a dose, Lucas dies. This triggers Jonah's memories. It turns out, while celebrating Lucas' last successful treatment, a woman escapes from her cell and attacks them. After killing her, Jonah turns to Nathan and asks him if he made sure to lock the rest of the cells. He orders Michael to check them out. Nathan and Jonah get into an argument, with Jonah blaming Nathan for the woman escaping, and Nathan arguing that he's not at fault for anything. Jonah orders him to help him take the woman into the pit, but Nathan refuses. Jonah rushes back home, praying that Sharon remembers. His flashback continues, with him driving the woman into the pit. Michael reports that those infected are everywhere and out of control. He instructs Michael to gather everybody and inject themselves with the vaccine. Sharon refuses, but Jonah points out that there's no time. Before he can finish, an infected man attacks him. Contaminated, Jonah injects a dose into himself and passes out, falling into the pit. Now Nathan remembers everything, and so does Sharon. He storms back home looking for Jonah, but finds Sharon instead. The siblings reunite, but a large group of infected follows Nathan and attacks them. They both realize that the scarecrows are no longer working, and Nathan suspects something's wrong. Feeling hopeless, Sharon writes a letter to Jonah in case they don't make it. Sharon reveals that the Chinese woman is the key to survival because she's immune to the plague that has wiped out most of the world. The siblings hear helicopters arrive, and the infected surrounding the house are killed. Nathan finally remembers that a rescue party was due to come on the 18th. Nathan goes outside to greet the rescuers, asking them not to shoot. However, Sharon, the Chinese woman, and Jonah watch helplessly as Nathan gets killed. With no contact from Jonah and the rest of the medical team, the rescue party is now on a search and destroy mission. Jonah finds Sharon and they flee, but she's mortally wounded by an infected woman. Jonah decides that the best option for them is to hide in the pit and pretend they're dead. After Jonah injects the vaccine into both of their arms, Sharon gives him her letter. She begs him to read it and do it right. She dies in his arms as he passes out as well. When Jonah wakes up, the Chinese woman helps him escape the pit again. Unfortunately, he doesn't remember anything and leaves the letter in the pit. The movie ends with Jonah and the Chinese woman standing before thousands of decomposing bodies. The fate of mankind is unknown. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.